Welcome to this whole week's cast. I messed with my mic, so I don't think it picked up. Oh, it did.
Yeah, it picked up. We just messed with the title of the
Yeah.
podcast, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It's not that kind of week.
Welcome to this week's whole week Costa. I'm Jay here with Kev. This week we have our new beer of the week, or beer table beer. It is the Dogfish Head Pumpkin Ale.
Actually, it's not pumpkin ale.
Pumpkin Ale.
It's pumpkin ale, and the pumpkins are like kind of punk rockers on the cover. That's a beer facts.
Yeah. Well, we've had plenty of Dogfish Head,
yeah,
but it's really the only pumpkin ale or pumpkin beer that I like. The rest of the pumpkin beers kind of suck.
I like I think it's Weyerbacher. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Weyerbacher's pretty good.
I feel like though the fact that they're pumpkins. I mean, I guess it's like a play on the pumpkin thing, but like I feel like pumpkin flavor things is like as unpunk as you get. Like it's like basic bitch.
Basic,
like,
yeah.
So, although I do feel like a girl that's real into pumpkin spice stuff is more attractive. But I like basic bitches though.
So what you're saying is you like the sleazy girls.
Yeah.
Sleazy and easy.
Yeah.
Sleazy easy.
Like an easy jazz song. Like the jazz singer that we're talking about today.
All right. So this week we watched we actually have to skip over My Fair Lady.
Yeah, because it
doesn't stream.
Yep,
you have to buy like a used version off of like Amazon or eBay for some reason.
So we're gonna watch it eventually.
Yeah. So probably not after this week. So we watched The Jazz Singer starring Al Jolson from 1927. It starts, it's about a kid. Is that a fly over there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't hit my poster.
I know. I thought about that after I hit it.
Yeah. It's about a kid. It's about a Jewish dad who's a
cantor.
He sings religious songs at Mass. And he's training his son to be the next cantor. He explicitly says it's 5 generations of cantors.
Yeah.
Then they see him in a bar or a beer house, and the kid's singing like as the one guy would say, raggy time songs.
Yeah, or real raggy as fuck.
Yeah, and he's like, no son of mine will sing that jazz crap. And then he's like, I'm gonna beat you. And then the kid's like, if you beat me, I'll run away. So dad beats him, and he runs away. And then what's supposed to be 10 years later, but looks more like 40 years later, he shows back up on the doorstep because he's got like a thing on Broadway to do with the singing. And the dad's like, get out of my house.
And the dancing and the ragging.
Yeah. He's like, get out of my house. We don't have a son. Like, he gave up after like one thing. Like, they all gave up on each other. It's
very much like the plot of like the Krusty the Clown, like where he meets his dad episode.
Yeah. So he goes, I don't have a son. And then like, he's at rehearsal and the mom comes and he sings a song to the mom, and the mom's like, hey, your dad's dying and we don't know if he can sing for Yom Kippur. And he's like, well, I can't do it. I haven't sung in 10 years, but it looks like 40.
Yeah.
And she's like, you could do it because you sing for your heart. So he sings for his dad in his dad's stead at Yom Kippur Mass, and then or service, and then
probably synagogue.
Synagogue. Yeah, it's still a mass, right?
I think that's we're Christians.
Yeah,
we're Gentiles.
Yeah. So he sings, and then like his dad like hears his voice singing a song during Yom Kippur, and he's like, I have a son again, and then dies.
Yeah. And then we got the blackface.
Yeah, the several scenes of blackface.
Yeah.
There's a scene of him putting it on. They do rehearsal in blackface. Then they do a whole song in blackface. And not only does he have blackface on, he has afro head.
Yeah, which was a pretty good wig.
Very good
honestly.
wig.
So let's get the blackface thing out of the way first. So I feel like it's such a weird dated thing that when you see it in an old movie, if you're really still mad about it, you could grow the fuck up. Like for the time, you could see how people used to be mad about it and how it used to be offensive. And I guess, but I mean, I just like what I mean is if you have a visceral reaction to it nowadays.
Well,
I just don't think you could. And I usually, as a white male, let me finish. As a white male, I usually skirt around racist issues because it's 2019 and whatever you say can be used against you. But I truly believe this one. Like if you're viscerally offended by this, not just like on some, some sort of, theoretical, like, academic point, like you can be mad about it for that. But if you like see it and you're like, oh, I'm so offended by that, like, come on.
All right. So I don't care about blackface. I know it's part of a history.
Yeah.
And it's like it wasn't cool or any of that stuff.
It was clearly offensive at the
Yeah,
time.
it was clearly offensive at the time. They had black actors.
Yeah.
But like you're right. Looking back on it, like you're like, oh, I can't believe they would do this. Like it's part of our history. Like yeah, it's a stain on American history, but it happened, and like that's just the time. So since then, like if they did blackface now, like that's clearly offensive.
Yeah.
Except for when they did Tropic Thunder,
Yeah.
where that was so well done.
Yeah.
That a white actor played a black man throughout the movie, and people were mad about blackface. But it was obviously satire.
Mm-hmm.
But it was so well done. The makeup was done. Like people were mad about that, but like the people that actually most people were like, "That's hilarious!" Like Robert Downey Jr. did such a great job doing that.
Well, here's the thing. I think it's a really good point about the blackface stuff because, I mean, it was often done to be offensive and to make fun of black people. So in that
Also, they didn't want to work with black actors,
right? So blackface as a whole is pretty terrible. But it's like, I mean, again, like linking to 2019, where somebody says one thing about you and you're on Twitter and your life's over. You can't really see into people's heart. And, Al Jolson is sort of villainized nowadays because he's known for blackface, because he did blackface a lot. But he also was loved by a lot of black actors at the time because he was one of the first people that really pushed for integration in Hollywood and on Broadway.
But Al Jolson also was like a vaudevillian actor, and these people would have like 3, 4, 5 actors. Yeah, because you watch the whole story of
the Cohans.
The Cohans.
Yeah,
it wasn't that big of a troupe. So when you had black characters, blackface was like part of that. So like if you were doing a show where it's like 3 or 4 black roles and you only had one black actor, they would leave the lead role for the black actor, and like white people would have to fill in for that role. Like that's one of the reasons they did it.
Yeah, one
of the reasons they did it, and the rest were just like because they didn't want to work with black actors.
Yeah, all the rest of the reasons were bad.
Yeah, but that's like one of them, vaudeville thing. But I don't think Al Jolson did that with negativity in his heart.
What's the thing? So he, I mean, by accounts, he wasn't the nicest guy. Like he was like, it sounds like he was an asshole, but again, he pushed for a lot of integration, and when he died in 1950, when they, like, his funeral march back, like, was lined with like black actors, black singers that he helped push to get them integrated and to get them opportunities. And, so, I mean, who knows? Maybe it was like my point is we don't know. And like, just like today with like the cancel culture of 2019, like we don't know what people really think.
Now in 1965, when Laurence Olivier did Othello in blackface, it was a little racist.
It's a little different time.
Yeah. That was pretty terrible. Like a Laurence Olivier, do you see that? That looks terrible. They could have got Sidney Poitier, who was acting at the time, or one of other
really good,
great black Hollywood actors from the 60s.
We've only seen Sidney Poitier so far
but I know there's
AFI
other ones.
journey.
I've seen other movies where they have. I mean, sometimes they play like what is it? The clown, or not the straight man.
Yeah.
The white guy's typically the straight man, so it's like they've played, they had him. So I don't know why Laurence Olivier had to play Othello in blackface in 1965.
Othello's a really good play too, but
and what the crazy thing about Othello is?
Yeah.
He wants to be like this next rank. It's not even a high rank.
Yeah.
It's like corporal.
Yeah.
Basically.
But yeah, so I don't know. It made me think of when I heard that story today about all the people at his funeral. My grandfather was
at his funeral.
Was
amazing.
No, my grandfather was exactly the same. So he was So an old Polish guy, you know, use the N-word, super racist, would say whatever, like whatever stuff you could think, like he probably said it. And whenever we like go to the mall with him when I was a kid, you come out of the store, we talking to some old black guy sitting on a bench, and they were like best friends. And then at his funeral, same thing. He worked for the gas works, and I would say about 50% of his funeral was like old black guys that he worked with that he was friends with for like 30 years. So I don't know, like don't judge people is what I'm saying.
Right,
like even I don't know, like you almost can't even judge people by their words. You like there's no way to see into somebody's, you know, head and see what they really think. But anyway,
like your grandfather's just a product of the times.
He was.
You know,
he
like,
just, you know, yeah, exactly. Like
I mean, like look at Frank Sinatra. I've mentioned this before. Frank Sinatra tried to integrate, you know, black people into the audience and into his acts and everything, like Sammy Davis Jr.
Yeah.
And like he still got caught saying pretty bad things. Him and you know, who's the other guy? Dean Martin. Like those guys like really push for equality and they got caught saying bad things, but like it's just a product of your times, which isn't an excuse, but like I mean, you know, we learn and evolve. So we get past the blackface.
Yeah.
Let's just say the movie itself, like,
it was terrible.
Was a terrible movie.
So I can't picture. Okay, so all the YouTube comments are about the fact that we all had to pay $2.99 to watch it.
So luckily, another silent film, also about race, Birth of a Nation.
Yeah.
Free on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah.
So apparently it does not go in the Jazz Singer is not going to public domain. Some people said 1922. Some people, or I'm sorry, 2022. Some people said 2027. Because, and this is kind of interesting. I think this is all Walt Disney related, if I'm not mistaken. Because it used to be that the copyright laws, it was like
75 years.
Well,
right?
but it used to be like 20 years. Then it was like it kept getting extended. And now it might be something like 50 years past the death of the author, like, which
they're trying to get that extended again.
Yeah.
Because Disney always wants Mickey Mouse in his hand.
Well, that's what it is. Walt Disney took all these old stories that were in the public domain, but like recently in the public domain, and turned them into Disney stories, and then amended the laws that no one else could ever do what he did to make successful characters. So another reason Disney Corporation is pretty evil. There's a great epic rap battles. Everyone should watch. Epic rap battles of history. It's Stan Lee versus Jim Henson, and there's a surprise in the end that Walt Disney is actually the villain. Well, I guess like the Disney Corporation. I guess it's like Bob Iger or something. Like it's some Disney executive at the end.
Well, this is a Warner Brothers film.
Yeah.
So, but like, yeah.
Yeah, but just talk about the copyright stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was some joke on the YouTube comments. Somebody said something like, "Oh, did Batman v Superman like lose Warner Brothers that much money that they have to charge me $2.99 for a 90-year-old film? Like this is bullshit."
Yeah. But back to the movie.
Oh, are we still recording that? Okay.
Yeah, I'm just not plugged in.
Okay.
Let me double check.
Yeah, I'm used to seeing the little sound bars up there. Maybe
we are recording.
Maybe since we weren't on the screen, we're on a different screen. It went to that. Maybe just made me nervous. But
the movie itself, like, not a good movie.
Yeah.
Real quick before we get into how bad the movie is, and start complaining, because usually I'm a pretty positive guy. Like I even like Bringing Up Baby, and you're like, you hated that movie, but I think we agree this is both a bad movie. So the thing about this movie is they say it broke the sound barrier, meaning like they lip synced movies, the music and the sound for parts of the scenes
with the Vitaphone.
Yeah. So it looks like they were talking and singing on screen, and people's like minds were blown. And I understand that. I understand how amazing that must have been, back in 1927. But I saw this at the Kimmel Center with an original score because they lost the score.
Yeah.
Metropolis.
Okay.
I saw Metropolis, another silent film.
I don't watch that.
It's kind of creepy. Like there's very creepy parts.
Yeah.
and I like that movie.
We should do Metropolis next week. Let's stay with the silent film era.
And I saw M,
Okay.
also by Fritz Lang.
Yeah.
Very creepy, fucking masterpiece. You know what I mean? Masterpiece. Silent film. So I don't want anybody saying, well, maybe you just don't like silent films. Yeah. And I've seen a couple other silent films too. Liked them all. This movie fucking sucked.
Wait. So this is the perfect 2019 example. We have to preemptively defend ourselves against the criticism that we're biased against silent films. Yeah. Those people just like talkies.
Yeah, they just like talkies. They don't understand. Like, I understand how the technology was never done before.
Yeah,
like it's like Terminator 2, where like the CG was like never done before. You know, like that type of computing, right? But Terminator 2 was a great film. Yeah. You know what I mean? They could have still made like a coherent story. Like the story plot was so weak. Like I think they made the movie just so they can make it into a musical, just so they can like, look, I got this technology. It's like, it must have blown people's minds, but it wasn't good.
Yeah, supposedly people stood and applauded after the singing scenes. So Don Juan, the year before 1926, was the first movie that had sound where there were like sound effects synchronized to the video. The two important scenes in this movie are after he sings that first song. Then he says about like, oh, you ain't seen nothing yet. You're going to see another song. Those were the first synchronized dialogue. That was the first synchronized dialogue ever. And then the scene with his mom where, well, I guess the first synchronized monologue ever. And then the first synchronized dialogue ever is when he's talking to his mom.
Right.
After in between those songs. And those were all ad-lib things. They weren't necessarily in the original plan for the movie. They actually ad-libbed those lines. So those ad-lib lines are the first ever. And then the following year... Oh, crap. I just knocked my headphone out.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I got a little emphatic. The following year is when they had the first like full dialogue like movie. Like without like non-musical. I don't remember what that. And it was like the Lights of New York or something.
A full on talkie.
Yeah, full on talkie. So, but I agree. There could have been a story, like, you know, because there's the classic bad musical thing, you know, which we talked about it before with the other musical we covered. I think we talked about it when we talked about Yankee Doodle Dandy. You know, the fact that the issues with the musical, it's like an action movie too, where you know, because of the musical scenes, if the musical scenes don't advance the story, then you really have less time for story.
Yeah, and these musical scenes did not advance
not in any way. They were just a guy singing songs. So that meant, you know, the movie runtime was only an hour and 36 minutes, minus probably 30 minutes of songs.
Oh, easy. Yeah.
Minus another probably 15 to 20 minutes of just screen
overture
text on screen.
The overture was 5 minutes.
Yep, that's that in the opening credits was 5 minutes 99 and 5 minutes 59 seconds. And ending was what, like 3 minutes?
Yeah. Oh, so when I saw Metropolis at the Kimmel Center, the guy had written his own score for the movie because part of the score and actually part of the scenes were lost. Okay. So he wrote his own score on that big organ at the Kimmel Center. And it was awesome.
That's cool.
And they introduced it like he wrote his own overture. Like they found the overture music and they were like, oh, this overture music is good.
Yeah.
But we want to make it more sciencey, like the overture was the same, like big piano, like brass and all this other stuff. He made this like very spooky, like you're going into the future not knowing what you're gonna do overture. So that was cool. Pretty cool. So like, you know, and then I watched a Buster Keaton film one time, and the overture was like that, like you know that Three Stooges type sound, like boop doo 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 doo. Yeah, you know, it was that type of overture. So you're like, you know, you're gonna have a good time. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, so between all that, I mean, there's probably only about 40 minutes of actual story in the movie, so it's really bare bones. Which I mean, even though this is the first where they had the sound, I mean, they had musicals before, so you presumably had the knowledge of good musicals where the songs advance the plot. Like that, presumably was a thing that existed already. So it just wasn't very good from a story perspective. From a music perspective, it wasn't very good. Like I felt like the background music in the silent parts did not match the tone of what was happening in the screen often. So I thought that was poorly done. Like they just seemed to play like there was just a random playlist playing over the silent film parts of it.
I really got vibes of like Avatar.
Yeah,
because
that's
like,
what I was thinking too.
Yeah, like Avatar, James Cameron's like, look at all this technology we invented for this movie. It's gonna be awesome. And then you watch it and you're like,
it was fine.
You're like, oh, okay, I've seen this movie 1,000 times, you know? So there's like the same kind of feeling where they're like, look at this technology that we have where you can actually have talking and all this other stuff. And then you're like, that was okay. Like the dad's a dick. The mom's not a character. She's a non-character. They just wrote like a blank woman. Yeah. And then the kid is like, I'm going to run away if you beat me. Like, imagine if I ran away and came back 40 years later, like just from one beating.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. The only part I was really invested even a little bit in the story was when he went back after the 10 to 40 years and he was talking to his dad, and he was saying about, you know, how he's being a successful singer, jazz singer, and his dad was talking about how he should have joined, you know, been a cantor like he was. And in my head I was kind of thinking like, well, you know, I mean, he should say to him that, you know, if his voice is from God, then he's still praising God by being a jazz singer. And I'm like, if he doesn't say that, then honestly, the dad's not that wrong. Like you shouldn't be that flippant about disrespecting tradition. Like, I mean, you don't have to be tied to tradition, but but I also don't think you should disregard it. But then he did. But then he said that. He said about how his voice was from God and how he was still praising God by singing. I was like, oh, okay, good.
He did say it,
I'm back in. So
and he also did mention like, oh, you're from the old world. If you were born here too, you'd want to do something else. And like, there are good messages in the movie. There are good points in the movie, but like the beginning is just so like rushed. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, like you can kind of tell like. If you're good at inferring information, like the parents like live in a Jewish ghetto. The ghetto's like very poor. Like the dad just is like, oh, tradition. I'm going to be a cantor. So you don't make much money. Like you're probably supported by the rest of the people there. Yeah. And like they take their religion. Excuse me. They take their religion like very seriously. So it's like this kid. His point is like, I want to do something better in my life. Yeah. And the dad's like, yeah, but you're kind of a loser, even though you're a big success now, because you're not stepping in my shadows. And it's like that story is like, that is the story of America. Like you always want to be better than your parents. And like your parents have to understand like and support that. And like this is like an old school dad where he's like, I don't support your thing. Like, I want you to do this. And he's like, yeah, but you don't understand. Like, times are changing.
Yeah, there's a little bit American dream versus, you know, traditional values sort of message. And then 2 years later was the Great Depression. So I'll bet he wished he had that church to support him at that point.
Yeah. But then here's the thing. Yeah. Good story. Good morals. Yeah. Nice message. They could have done so much better. And you know how I know they could have done so much better? Because I've read better books and I've watched better movies around the same time period. I've read better books from before that. So they had writers.
Yeah. Yeah, it really does seem like they just wanted to show off the technology, which is where you get like The Hobbit and shit. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, you get The Hobbit. You have Lord of the Rings, but then they're like, we got new technology. Hobbit, and you're like, this shit
4K
sucks.
ultra 60 frames per second. Yeah, that's what this movie was.
Yeah,
it was your 1927 4K 60 frames per second movie. Yeah, it probably made people a little nauseous.
And then just to bring up the blackface again, we get it. You show them put it on, you show them singing it, you show them take it off, you show them put them on, singing it. Yeah, we get it. It's a part of life back then. We get it. You don't rub it on our face. Yeah, at rehearsal. Why do you have to do it? Also, very good wig. Yeah,
the wig was great. The blackface. So where you should have had a visceral reaction to the blackface was that it was fucking terrifying. I mean, so Al Jolson already disturbs me. That he's like, you know, like in Independence Day, where the aliens like in the Egger suit. Like Al Jolson's like in a fucking Egger suit. Like he doesn't move like a normal human being. His facial expressions are not like a normal human being. Maybe it was a vaudeville thing, and I haven't seen a lot of vaudeville because it was a long time ago. Maybe it was that, but it's fucking terrifying. And then
you know who was also terrifying?
Who's that?
When the kid was about 12 and he was singing in the beer hall.
Oh,
the
that
playing
guy.
piano,
Yeah.
who looked like a more fucked up version of Lon Chaney.
Yup.
That's Lon Chaney.
Yeah, that's kind of what he looked like. Yeah.
Yeah. But like more fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah, Al Jolson's this fucking like acromegaly looking, like his jaw was too big, like his eyes move in weird ways, like he's in a fucking Egger suit. And then you put blackface on a fucking Egger suit.
Sugar water. Yeah.
Oh my God. Like, and I don't, and like, I don't get how come I don't know where you could ever find an explanation of this, but what was the explanation for in the blackface, not putting it tight to the lips? What was the reason for that?
No, it is a thing. They put this big, but they make up their what's it called? Lips, like the lipstick, like a half a lip over.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so creepy.
Yeah. So blackface is terrifying. Like regardless of the racial overtones or whatever. It should have never been for that reason alone.
Right. Yeah, you mean like this?
Yeah. Yeah, just look up blackface on fucking Google Images. I don't understand why they left the whole like middle part of the face open.
Yeah, it was crazy. I don't know. I don't get it. It's something that like I understand. It's a product of the times. I get it, and I'm not even disgusted by it being back then. Like today would be pretty disgusting. Like if like they didn't allow black actors to be in movies, but it's just you're just like, this is just, who thought this was a good idea?
Yeah.
Like if you're a professional, right? All right, if you're a doctor,
Yeah.
right? And you work with another doctor and you're both really good at heart transplants.
Yeah.
And you have a problem. You have a heart transplant and you fucking hate each other.
Yeah.
Hate each other.
Yeah.
He slept with your wife. I don't know.
Yeah.
He published your paper as his own. Like you guys hate each other.
Yeah.
You guys are going to work together.
Yeah.
To get this heart in to this patient.
To get the best,
because you guys are fucking professionals.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't like someone because of their skin color, but they're really good at their job,
yeah,
just suck it up.
You just want to
work with them because they're a fucking professional.
Yeah.
You know, like that's all you got to do.
Yeah. And you listed all the common doctor problems.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I think we talked about the back place. We talked about the terrible movie. We talked about what's it called? Technology.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. There's much more to say about this movie. I mean,
I mean, maybe I'm a little too harsh, on it. But like, I still don't think like. Even like sometimes we watched a bunch of movies from the 50s and 60s so far, and the women are written like these, like, except for the last one.
Yeah,
woman was written very well.
Yeah, loved her.
Yeah, Place in the Sun.
Yeah,
both of them.
Yeah,
but like they're like real ditzy and everything, and like it like they get married after 6 weeks. Like, okay, that's what I mean. That's something that we don't get. This movie just wasn't good on the basis like the story wasn't good. Yeah, like how quick like the characters moved in it. That wasn't good. Like, you beat me, I'm leaving. He leaving. No son of mine. And then like 10 to 40 years later, he comes back. He's like, I still don't have a son, and I'm dying.
Yeah, it was super rushed. I can't imagine. And this is really weird because I feel like every other movie we've watched, like somebody enjoys. Like someone would watch it not just because they're going to talk about it on a podcast, or like they're not just watching it for like school or whatever. I feel like there's probably no one alive that would enjoy this movie.
yeah. I think you're right. Like Pulp Fiction, Goodfellas, everyone loves those movies so far. If you love musicals, you watch Yankee Doodle Dandy. Yeah. Like that's a classic musical. You watch Look Who's Coming to Dinner. Yeah. Like, that was a good movie. Yeah. Bringing Up Baby, maybe not. Like
I'm sure there's somebody that likes that movie.
Yeah, like the movie because of Audrey Hepburn.
Yeah.
Yeah, or Katharine Hepburn.
I think it was Katharine Hepburn.
Katharine Hepburn. Yeah. Like, they were a big fan of that. Or like Jack Lemmon and the last movie.
I'm 100% on the Audrey Hepburn side though.
Yeah. But like all these movies have something in it. This movie, like, if someone's like, "You want to watch a jazz singer?" I'm like, "No, I'm gonna go shave. I gotta go shave or something just to get out of it."
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, but really, because I mean, it's 1927, so like no one has any nostalgia for this movie. Like you'd have to be, I mean, what? I mean, you'd have to be. Well, I guess if you were 100 years old, right? Like then like you could have seen this movie when you were like a kid. So maybe there's like a few people alive that would enjoy watching this.
But they would still be like, the story's rushed.
But like within the next 10 years, there will be no one alive who will ever watch this movie again for enjoyment.
Yeah. So you have another movie on this this list called Citizen Kane.
Yeah.
It is like, for its technical achievement, it's one of the like best movies of its time.
Yeah.
Its technical achievement. Like, I read a lot about the movie because I was like forced to, about like camera setups.
Jump ahead. That's like 90 movies from now.
Yeah, but yeah, I know it is. I think it's literally 90 movies.
Yeah.
But like, so it like this movie is, it's technical achievement. It's like the first of its kind. Well, Citizen Kane does a lot of shit that's the first of its kind. But you know what? Also, it is a good movie.
Yeah.
Like it's
the best movie.
I've never watched it, but I've read a lot about it.
Yeah.
It's any critic goes, Citizen Kane is the best movie ever.
Yeah.
I don't think it is, but we'll find out. Like Casablanca, it's a good movie. This movie just wasn't good.
So what's next week? I mean, we'll have to fit My Fair Lady back in at some point. But we have to obtain it first.
Also, another like 3-hour movie, but I need you to watch this one.
Yeah.
It's Patton.
Ah, okay, that'll be.
Yeah, it's
I'll
a very
watch
good movie.
Yeah. I've seen
George C.
parts
Scott
of it.
Yeah.
Before. Yeah, that'll be good.
Patton's easily obtainable. It takes place during World War II.
Yeah.
There's tank battles. He slaps a guy. I think the movie's really good.
This one's probably like $5.99.
Yeah. Well, you want me to check?
Yeah, check on the YouTubes.
All right.
In case anyone wants to watch at home.
So Patton, I love not Patton Oswalt.
Patton Oswalt's like the opposite of the movie Patton.
Yeah. So, about George S. Patton. That's his death was stupid. He died in a Jeep crash, in Germany or something like that.
I feel like that's how a lot of the greatest.
Yeah.
I feel like the great generals always die in ways like that.
I wonder if my fart was picked up.
I mean, probably.
So I got bad news for you.
Yeah.
YouTube and Amazon Prime is $3.99.
Okay, I'll pay $3. I thought it might have been more than that because it's a little more recent.
Yeah, but all right. So, biography of the controversial World War II hero, General George S. Patton. The film covers his wartime activities and accomplishments, beginning with his entry into the North African campaign and ending with his removal from command after his outspoken criticism of the U.S. post-war military strategy.
I feel like we'll like this movie.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Starring George C. Scott.
I would love to get to the point, maybe like if we can start building this up. Oh, before I leave, we should figure out how the fuck to log into YouTube because I can't log into our YouTube. I can never figure it out.
Let's do that off mic.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
We'll do it off mic, but because I like to go and like hashtag all the things and like that's I want to do that the other night. Because I would love to get to the point where like maybe like I mean even if it's like 30 episodes from now, like where people actually do follow along with us. I want to watch that Filmento one that I see on your screen now. It's about the new Men in Black movie. It's about a toxic hero or whatever. I want to watch that. All right. Well, I think that's about it.
Yeah. All right, cool. So next week is Patton, and we'll get to My Fair Lady one time. I think we'll just have to like go halves, buy the DVD, and then like come over and watch it, and then talk about it.
I think that's how.
I don't think there's anything special about that movie, but Patton, there is something. It's a World War II movie, and all World War II movies are good.
Yeah.
For this week's Whole Wheat Costa, I'm Jay here with Kev, and we talked about the jazz singer.
Al Jolson.
Be sure to catch last week's episode, A Place in the Sun, which is actually a very good movie.
Yeah, and that was a great episode.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for listening. Nope. Let's not stop.
Oh no, didn't stop.